It was a cold, foggy morning when he left. The air felt heavier than usual, thick with unspoken words. Sarah stood by the window, watching him drive away, her heart sinking with each passing second. He had promised he would always be there, but now, as the car disappeared into the mist, she realized how fragile promises could be. Her thoughts raced, replaying the arguments they'd had just hours earlier. He had been distant for weeks, and despite her attempts to bridge the gap, he had decided that leaving was the only option. "I need space," he had said, his voice distant, like the words weren't even his own. She had begged him to stay, but it was no use. With a final glance, he was gone. Days passed, but the emptiness lingered. Sarah tried to move on, filling her life with distractions, friends, work, the small things that might dull the pain. But nothing could fill the space he had left behind. Then, one evening, weeks later, the doorbell rang. Sarah stood frozen for a moment, her heart skipping a beat. She wasn't expecting anyone. With a sense of dread and curiosity, she opened the door. And there he was. Standing on her doorstep, drenched from the rain, eyes full of regret. "I know I left," he began, his voice cracking. "But I couldn't stay away. Not after everything." She just stood there, unsure of what to say. Part of her wanted to yell, to demand answers, but another part of her missed him. Missed his presence in ways she couldn't explain. "I was wrong," he continued, taking a hesitant step forward. "I thought leaving would help me figure things out, but all I did was lose what mattered most." The silence stretched between them. He had left, but here he was, standing in front of her, asking for a second chance. "Why now?" she asked quietly, her voice trembling. "Why after all this time?" "I couldn't live with the regret anymore," he confessed. "I thought I needed freedom, but what I really needed was you." She could see the sincerity in his eyes, the same eyes that once held so much love for her. The same eyes she had fallen in love with years ago. But trust was fragile, and a lot had changed in the time he had been gone. Sarah took a deep breath, her mind swirling. Should she let him back in? Could she? "I don't know if I can just forget everything," she said, her voice softer now, tinged with pain. "You hurt me when you left. It wasn't just about the space, it was about abandoning everything we had." He nodded, his face falling. "I don't expect you to forget. But I hope you can forgive me. I need you, Sarah. More than anything." For a long moment, Sarah stayed silent. She thought of the man she had loved, the man she had lost, and the man standing before her, pleading for a second chance. Finally, she spoke, her voice steady, though her heart was racing. "You left, but I think you came back for the right reasons." He smiled, a glimmer of hope lighting up his eyes. And in that moment, both of them knew that this wasn't just about a second chance, it was about rebuilding something broken, together. "Let's try," Sarah whispered, stepping aside to let him in.